boing, 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 boing. Boing,
Looking
boing,
from
boing,
a window above.
boing, 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 boing.
It's the story of love.
Boing, 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 boing.
Can you...
This man will be our hero, for fate will make him indestructible. His name?
Will you take a look at that?
Welcome to another massive night network. All your favourites, Nicholas Parsons on Alphabets, Mick Brown with the Axeman on Chart Attack, the legendary Gary Glitter looking at the Rocky Horror Show. And we've another legend paying tribute to the great Gerry Anderson, master of TV fantasy, the man behind Captain Scarlet, Thunderbirds and Space 1999. Plus a showing of the first Captain Scarlet ever to be made and the wacky Mime Theatre Project giving their unique interpretation of Gerry's work. So check it out.
From the cultural centre of Britain, welcome to the greatest game in the history of the universe. It's the all-new Alphabet Show. Let's meet that host with the most, the living legend, the hottest, the latest, the greatest. It's Nicholas Parsons.
Yes, hello and welcome once again to this game of trivial joy and pleasure, devised entirely to keep you awake through the trivial and bewitching hours of the early morning. And I have some exciting guests, as always, in the studio. They're going to pit their wits and their talent before this vast and ecstatic audience in this huge studio. There they are, the same lot we've had every week. We couldn't do without them, and I couldn't do without my guests. And welcome now to my lovely guests. Someone who always looks larger than life, who is larger than life, larger than little and large than put together. It is my, with his I found loving leaping up the charts, right up there. How you found loving at that size, I don't know, but there we are. It is Steve Walsh, of course, right. Fine. And well, on the subject of vital statistics. That deserved a different reaction. Yes, because it is, of course, they work in teams, as you know, and who has Steve got as his lovely, luscious partner? Now making a name as an actress, but it is the lovely Linda Lusardi. And their team, opposing team, well, we have from Capital Radio, from the Roxy, the ITV chart show, the kid himself, Dave Jensen. David Jensen.
Howdy.
Howdy, right. And his partner from Channel 4's Network 7, Magenta Divine.
Good morning.
There's a divine coupling there. Not in public, though. And let's just remind you, well, they start with 100 points. They work as teams. There, behind every letter of the alphabet, there's a question. Could be easy, could be tough. There's points if they get it right, points lost if they get it wrong. They can hand it over, in which case they gamble, in which case the question becomes double its value. What will they do? You will find out. And we also have our 45-second challenge. More of that when it happens. Let us start the contest with this incredible pairing of Steve and Lusardi.
Linda.
I know it's Linda, it's all right.
Yeah, look.
Yes, what's Lusardi? Is that Italian originally?
Yeah, my dad's Italian.
Is he really? Well, what letter of the alphabet would you like to start with, Linda?
Let's go for a biggie. Should we go for E?
Yes, well, you've got a biggie with you, so you want to start with a biggie. You're going for an E, 25 points, right. Edinburgh, E for Edinburgh. The Duke of Edinburgh. Would you like to take a question on the Duke of Edinburgh?
Sorry?
I like the rolls, yeah.
Yeah, go on.
You would. All right. Which pop group did the Duke of Edinburgh predict in 1965 was on the way out? Was it the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, or Freddie and the Dreamers?
Should we go for the B?
Yeah.
The Beatles.
You got it right. You got 35 points, so you're now 125 points. Right, David and Magenta, what letter of the alphabet would you like?
Go on, Magenta.
Magenta.
We'll go for B.
You're going for B, right, 20 points. Ah, there's a video with this one, and on this video there is a question. Well, that's the Beastie Boys, B. She's Crafty is the video, and we have a whole set of videos up there in the box, and one of them is on the screen now.
The next thing she said was my place or yours. Kick some bass behind closed doors. They got into the cab, the captain said he recognized my girlie from the back of her head. He said on the sunbelt, chips of bass. So I made him stop the cab to get out of the place. Should've looked back.
Yes, the charming, laid-back Beastie Boys. My fan club. Do you want to take a question on the Beastie Boys?
Yeah,
right. Can you tell me, is this tough or easy? I don't know. What is the name of the Beastie Boy, Mike D's cat? Is it Clouseau, Claus, or Eartha Kitty?
God.
No, it's not God, definitely.
I would say Clouseau.
Clouseau is right!
I knew all along.
No, not
I was
yet.
just pretending.
I got 120 for that, so still 5 in the lead. Steve and Lucinda, what would you like?
You'll get it right in a minute. won't you?
Right then.
You pick one.
Okay. Nicholas, baby, lay a W on me.
W on me. Baby lad W on me. All this poppling. Oh, I'm right on the kid. Right, there we are. Right, there's a still yo. William. Prince William. You've got all the royal questions, haven't you? We've only got 2 royal questions, so you picked them both. Do you want a question on Prince William?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on. Can you tell me how old will Prince William be at the turn of the century? That is on the 1st of January, 2000. You only get a few seconds for thought.
Is it the new one?
Because he only chooses questions so he gets so close to Linda there.
5?
5? He's 5 now, darling.
Oh, is he 5?
Hold on. 17.
All right,
17.
17.
Oh,
I'll be generous. Right, there are 135. You've got something to do there. David and Magenta, which letter of the alphabet would you go for?
Go on, your turn.
A.
A, right, A. We got here 15 points. Oh, got a question on Anderson. Gerry Anderson. Are you up on Gerry Anderson?
Am I up on Gerry Anderson, are you?
He's going to be our guest, our special guest.
I am, of
later,
course.
live in the studio, the great man himself. What would you like? Question on Gerry Anderson?
I'll leave it up to you, OK? This is entirely down to you.
Right. Now, this could be tough, it'd be easy, if you're a fan or not. Now, before Gerry Anderson had a hit with those... What are you looking at, David?
Sorry, if he's here,
We have
if he's around.
Yes, he is around somewhere, yes. He's quite slim still, but he's not as round as this chap here. Right. Gerry Anderson, before he had his great hits with Thunderbirds and all those marvellous space fantasy puppet shows, he had a wonderful cowboy puppet series called 4 Feather Falls. Did you ever see it?
I did not.
Oh, well, then you're in trouble.
Oh, dear.
Because here is the question.
Yes.
The hero of that series was Two Gun Tex of Texas. But can you tell me which well-known entertainer today supplied the voice of Two Gun Tex of Texas? Somebody I think you know, David. You do know him. I'll give you that hint. You do know him. You have met him.
It's not that guy that used to do Sale of the Century. You know, the quizmaster, the fellow that was from Norwich, wasn't it?
Now, how did you manage to know that when I was playing Two Gun Tex?
It was Nicholas Parsons.
Did you actually know that I played that great cult hero? Did you know that? Well, that is the truth, and he got it right, and you deserve your 15 points. Well done. Well, was my little bit of help too much for you?
Wait a minute.
We're stoned.
What's that? Something just came up on the monitor over there, the TV screen. What is that? Vision.
That is Nicholas Parsons. I never saw. Where did they find it? With the puppet himself. It was a great series, by the way. It was the best that Gerry ever did. Right, let's move on. Steve?
You got the same tyre on tonight as you actually had in that picture.
Yes, I kept it as a souvenir. I'm glad you're observant, Steve. You've got the same sweatshirt on too, haven't you? That you had the same. Right, come on. So what letter would
what should
you
we
like?
go for this time?
Linda, Steve.
S.
S, right. The S, 10 points only. Sport, football. Up on football, Linda? Steve? It seems to be your sport, Steve. I can see you as a goal. Wouldn't get many past you, would they?
Well, we'll pass it over then.
Pass it over then, all right.
What is it? Sorry.
Oh, no, they'll play.
There's a question on football.
We'll take it.
And it's now worth 20 points.
All right.
Jeff Hurst scored a hat-trick in the 1966 World Cup for Britain, but can you tell me who scored the other goal for England? No, it wasn't
It was, Martin Peters?
It was. He's done so well.
Oh, yes.
Right, Nicholas Parsons and Martin Peters. Well. So they are now in the lead with 155 points. Steve and Linda, it is your turn. The audience is going ecstatic. I don't know which side they're on, that's the trouble. Your turn to take the 45-second challenge. Now, I've got 45 seconds for you, and I've got a number of questions here, all set under the letter I. And I want you to try and get as many right as you can in 45 seconds, 5 points for each correct answer, pass if you don't know, or guess, but nothing lost if you get it wrong. I. Are you ready? The time starts now. I. Iceland. Is the population of Iceland smaller or larger than that of Birmingham?
Smaller.
Smaller is right. The Incredible Hulk, what is the colour? Is this monster's
Green.
form? Green, well done, Linda. Iglesias, Julio Iglesias. In which position did Julio used to play professional soccer?
Centre-half.
Goalkeeper, sorry.
Oh.
Italy. What is the currency of Italy?
Lira.
Lira, right. Ifield, Frank. What nationality is this popular singer? Frank Ifield?
Australian.
Australian, ice hockey. How many players are there in an ice hockey team?
Pass.
Pass. Ivan the Terrible, which country did he rule and play football for?
Pass.
Pass. Hip Crest File, which British movie star played the secret agent Harry Palmer?
Michael Caine.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Caine. It ain't our fault, Mum, who played the Sergeant Major in this TV series. You've got 4 5 seconds. Windsor Davis,
Davis.
I'll give it to you. The Imposter, which singer had a hit with Pills and Soap under the name of The Imposter? It was Elvis Costello, and you've got 25 points. So right now, you are now 165 points to 155 on the opposing team. We now come up to the halfway mark in our contest, and the lead is Linda and Steve. And what will happen in the second half? More alphabets after this.
Behind every letter delivered by the Royal Mail is a cast of thousands. 127,000 postmen, 28,000 vehicles covered 300 million miles last year. We use 4,000 trains every day, around 150 flights worldwide every day. Machines that read 35,000 printed addresses an hour, but every letter gets personal attention, some more than others. We dealt with 11,199 million letters last year, by air, by land, by Steve, by hand.
When spots are a nightmare, remember spots hate Clearasil. Its cleansing and antibacterial action helps prevent spots going bump in the night.
There is an oil that is continually changing, keeping pace with engine technology, so you can be confident no matter how hard you drive your car. There is one moving part in your engine that has the future built in. It is Castrol GTX liquid engineering, fitted in your engine.
This man had a nice collection of antiques. And he was so worried about burglars that he had his house built without any windows. Nevertheless, one day, a gang of crack international thieves broke in and stole the lot. And although the Pharaoh was fully covered, Eagle Star weren't around to ensure his value. Don't bury your head in the sand. Ask your financial advisor about Eagle Star's household insurance. Because with Eagle Star, you can face the future with confidence.
Welcome back to the alphabet game. Well, there's all to play for in this exciting contest here on the Night Network, and those great prizes that they're competing with such energy for. We've had another glass of adrenaline each in the little break that we had, and let me tell you now, what is the situation? Well, it is Steve Walsh and Linda Lusardi in the lead, 10 points ahead of David Jensen, who's now fallen asleep. Will you please put Magenta?
The letter, what was it?
Yes. With Magenta Divine. They're 155 points, and Linda and Steve, and they've now swapped their names. All right, you definitely look very good as Linda, Mr. Walsh.
We didn't think you'd notice.
Steve Lusardi, yes, even without my specs, I can still see that, yes. Right, Steve Lusardi, which letter of the alphabet would you like to take?
P.
P, for persons, no doubt. O-P. Places. Places in Britain. Do you want a question on the places in Britain?
Yeah.
Only 5 points, this. Right, is it tough, is it easy? Where in England is Holland? Holland is in England?
London?
No.
There's Holland Park, but
No, I think
want
Holland
Holland. Quickly.
Gloucestershire.
No, it's in Lincolnshire, I'm afraid. So you have lost 5 points.
Damn.
You've gone back to 60, 155, only trailing by 5. David and Magenta, what letter of the alphabet?
Go on.
G.
G, right. ABC, 25 points. There was a video on this one, too. So it's G for Gerry Glitter. And all is going to glitter for us because Gary's going to be a guest on our show later. Right, so Gerry Glitter, leader of the gang. Do you want to take a question on Gerry
He's
Glitter?
a little before my time.
Is he?
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, it's a very high score. I think, you know, they might lose this one. Perhaps we should pass it over.
Good thinking.
You're going to
Bit of
pass it over.
tactical play here.
Tactical play, yes, you're
No
gambling.
problem.
Because this is now worth 50 points. 50 points. Linda and Steve, it is yours. Take it or leave it, you have to. Gerry Glitter has been dieting in order to become a host on Night Network. That's gone down like a... Can you tell me, what is Gary's current waist measurement? Now, you know you haven't put your arm around him recent, Linda, but it's not as large as Steve, I can assure you.
Between about 36, 38, wouldn't it?
Come on, please.
37.
You think he's now down to 37? He must have been about 47 before then. Down to 37? I tell you, I'm 34, 33 and a half.
He's bigger than you.
And he's gone down to 28 and a half inches.
I don't believe it.
Yes.
I want him to prove that, because I don't believe
he
that.
will prove it. He'll have to prove it
question.
later, because Gerry is going to be on our show later tonight, and he'll have to prove that one to us, because you've lost 50 points otherwise. Well, you have lost 50 points.
Do I get them back if he comes in?
Yes, you get them back from Gary himself in person, with all the glitter attached to it. You're down to 110. You're now in the strong lead, David and Magenta. No, it's your turn to take a question. Which is it, Steve and Linda?
We'll
go for
have a
H.
biggie.
You must have a biggie now, yes. Yes, but that's not necessarily the value of the question. I mean, right, a biggie, what do you want? H is what? H, right, 20 points. Harris, Rolf Harris. Question on Rolf Harris?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
all
good.
right. You could always gamble.
Good old
If they
Rolf.
got it wrong, right. Rolf Harris had a hit with 2 little boys. Well, I didn't know that, did you? 1970. I'm sure they haven't phrased it quite right for you, Rolf, but no, it was a song, of course. Can you tell me what toys the 2 little boys were playing with?
Rocking horse, wasn't it?
In that
Wooden
song?
horses.
Wooden horse.
Wooden horses.
Yeah.
You got 20 points back. Right. Fine. David.
Yes.
Magenta.
Hi.
Right. You're still in the lead. Which
Well,
letter of the alphabet would you like?
Well, let's pick the letter.
High one.
A high one.
Yes,
Which
you
one is
still
that?
go because it
N?
might
N.
be it might be an easy question. It might be a toughie. Newspapers. Do you want a question on newspapers?
Yeah.
All right. Well, how much is a copy of the Times?
20.
Oh, no, go on.
I was going to say 25. I'm not sure now.
I know. How often do you read it? Come on.
I buy them
I've gotta ask
all
the
every
question.
day,
I've
but
got to
they-
ask it.
Quick.
25.
25 is right. Yes. 25. Steve and Linda, what letter of the alphabet would you like?
There's only 10s left, are there?
No, it doesn't
K.
matter. No,
What
it
a
doesn't.
K?
It could be easy or tough. Which the K?
K.
15. Right, kippers. Want a question on kippers? Are you up on kippers? Is that your scene? I bet you've had a few kippers in your time, haven't you, Steve?
Several this morning, but we'll pass it over.
You've got to pass it over. It's not worth it. 30 points. 30
Kippers.
points. Kippers are a smoked version of which fish?
It's not herring. Mackerel. Is it herring?
I don't think it is herring, is it?
Go on, say it.
Not
Magenta, go on.
quickly.
Herring.
It is herring, yes. Right, take your 45-second challenge. Right, 45 seconds. All your letters are under the letter Q. Are you ready, David and Magenta? The time starts now. Q for quattro. Who's had more British solo #1, Susie or Elton John?
Susie.
I'd say Susie.
Susie has. She had 2. Queen, who is their singer?
Freddie Mercury.
Her Majesty the Queen. What was the year of her coronation?
53.
Right. Queen's Park Rangers. At what ground do they play?
Loftus Road.
Right. Question of Lust. Who had it with the record in 1986?
Who? What?
Question of
Depeche
Lust.
Mode.
Depeche Mode is right. Quartet. How many members are there in a quartet?
4.
Yes, an easy one. Quizmasters. Who was the host of Every Second Counts? I think he still is. I mean, who is the host of Every Second Counts?
Paul Daniels.
Paul Daniels is right. 10 seconds left. Quebec. Name one of the languages spoken there.
French.
And English, of course. Q. Who starred the TV series of this name? Q.
Spike Milligan.
Spike Milligan. And there goes the time. And you got 45 points. A marvellous score there. And you've gone up to 245 points. To Steve and Linda's 100.
Great stuff, David.
But you were gambling and you gambled well, but it's now your turn to take a question.
Go on, pick me.
R.
R, right. R, 5 points here. Roads, you want a question on roads? Not...
Yes.
In Greece or what you drive on?
What you drive on. I'll give you a question of roads in Greece if you preferred.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll
go
have
on.
one on the road to drive.
Yeah, go on.
The road you drive on. What is the background colour of British motorway signs?
Yellow, isn't it?
Blue.
Blue? I'm going to take his thing. How often do you go on the roads? Or are you always asleep at the back of the car? Right, they've got another 5 for that. David? Magenta? A letter?
We'll have D.
D, A, B, C, D, another 5. Def Leppard? Do you want a question on Def Leppard?
Sure.
Right. When Def Leppard singer Joe Elliott was ill, he... No, that's wrong. Oh, no, when he was 11. when he was 11. When he was 11. When Def Leppard... When Joe Elliott was 11, he appeared in a school play. Did he appear as Elvis Presley, Captain Hook, or Juliet in Romeo and Juliet?
Do you want to say Juliet?
No, he didn't. He played Elvis Presley when he was only 11, so you've gone back to 40.
You got to get one wrong.
Come on, and...
J.
We've got to give them a
J.
Yeah,
right.
go on, a J.
A J, I-J, 10. Right, Jackson, Michael Jackson. Do you want to take a question on Michael Jackson? Right, when Michael Jackson first joined the Jackson 5, which instrument did he play?
He didn't play an
be
instrument, he was a
surprised.
singer.
Yeah, he also played an instrument, the Jackson 5, when he first joined them.
Tambourine.
You're not
Drums.
far out. It was the bongos. Oh, shall I be generous?
Yeah,
Go on.
Well, there's a lot of difference, I know. Right, it's David and Magenta, and I pray it's the last question, so it wouldn't have made any difference to the final score. So what are you going to go for? Your last question in a flourish.
All right, C.
C, A, B, C, 10 points. Curiosity killed the cat. Do you want to take the question?
Sure.
All right. True or false? Curiosity singer Ben Volpellier-Perrot is the teenage model on the lid of Mike Reed's pop quiz game.
True.
Yeah.
It is true. You knew that. You got another 10 points. And therefore, what we have to tell you is our winners this week are David Jensen and Magenta Divine with 200 points. And they've beaten Steve and Lucinda. Well, let me just...
Lucinda?
What?
You keep getting her name wrong.
Yes, but I think Lucy Lusardi, Lucinda Lusardi, Lucy Lusardi.
Yeah, you put a loose Linda earlier.
No, that was no. Okay. Anyway, on behalf of my lovely guests, Linda Lusardi and Steve Walsh, and David Jensen and Magenta Divine, and myself, but don't forget, we have far more on Night Network for you yet to come. Yes, it's going to be Mick Brown on the Chart Attack, of course, and his special guest will be the Axeman, and Roland Riveron in the Bunker Room. His special guest will be Alison Moyet, and we have our Gerry Anderson special for you, the whole of the first episode of Captain Scarlet, and our special guest in the studio, Gerry Anderson himself, in person, and from Linda, and Steve and David and Jennifer and myself, and goodbye. So next week, and Mike Chegwin and Alison Long, Janice Long will be our guests on his, and because we've got one short, I'm joking, I've only got 10 seconds left. Goodbye, next week, Alphabet Game.
That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm
your worries and your strife.
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain is simply delicious. 3 varieties of crunchy whole grain flakes with raisins or hazelnuts. No artificial flavors, colors, and no sugar added.
Bare necessities or Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life.
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain, simply delicious.
If DIY is a bit of a drag, get your hands on the portable Workmate 2 system. It's the best Workmate ever, solid as a rock. It clamps the wide and the narrow with ease. There's even an optional saw table for more work surface. The Workmate 2 system from Black & Decker. Tough tools for tough jobs.
Well, at one time or another, you'll all have seen Captain Scarlet, Thunderbirds, Terrorhawks, or Space 1999 on your telly. Well, the man behind them all is here tonight. He's Gerry Anderson. Now, Gerry, here on Night Network, we've had a great reaction to showings of Captain Scarlet, and yet he's 20 years old. Does it surprise you, the lasting popularity of your work?
Well, when it first started to happen, I think it did surprise me. But, you know, when I started to think about it, you say 20 years ago, well, of course, kids that watch those shows have now grown up. They're now chairman, managing directors, presenters, and of course they are bringing the shows back, which is lovely for me.
Were they made as timeless pieces?
No, I really wasn't as clever as that. I just happened to be, for a variety of reasons, making shows about the future. And I suppose because of that, and because of the fact that they're puppets, that they're fairly timeless. You know, we have no cars with the registration plates giving away the date, for instance.
Aha. Well, let's take a look at one of your first puppet series, Torchy the Battery Boy, which was made in 1957, a dim and distant past.
Boy, I'm a walkie-talkie toy. Press my switch, see my bulb start to gleam. It's the most magic light you have seen.
Torchy the Battery Boy. Now, Gerry, where did the origins of your fascination with space come from?
Well, all that happened was I found myself making puppet films. I didn't want to particularly make puppet films, but I just landed.
How come?
Well, simply because I was hungry and somebody said, would you make a puppet film? And I had to say yes. And the more I made, the more people wanted. So I sort of just landed.
So you landed into puppetry, but wasn't space something that came out of your childhood? Like...
No, nothing as romantic as that. I landed myself in puppet films. I found that these nasty little creatures couldn't do very much. I found the whole thing very frustrating, and I couldn't make them walk. And so in order to make them walk, I thought up the idea of a supercar where they could ride around and fly and do everything without actually walking and without actually having to run around. And that really led to science fiction.
Well, let's move to the end of the 50s now. Technically more sophisticated and much more clearly the Anderson style. We'll have a look at Supercar.
Supercar, with beauty and grace, as swift as can be. Watch it flying through the air. It travels in space or under the sea, and it can journey anywhere. Supercar, supercar. It travels on land or roams the skies, through the heavens' stormy rage. It's Mercury manned and everyone cries, it's the marvel of the age. Supercar, supercar, supercar!
So is this where you sort of began to establish the Gerry Anderson style?
Yeah, I think what happened was I desperately wanted to get out of puppet production into live-action production. And so what I thought I would do is to make the thing as real as possible, use three-dimensional sets, make the puppet speak and think, and really show the industry I could make normal pictures.
Oh.
What in fact happened was the industry said, aha, this guy can make wonderful puppet films, so it gives him, give him more and more.
How important to you was mechanical accuracy in the work?
You mean with the vehicles?
Machinery and, yeah.
Oh, very important. I don't think I let it get in the way of fantasy, the fantasy element, but I think that the art of fantasy is to make it believable. And if you're going to make it believable, then you have to be reasonably accurate.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at one of your early innovations. We're going to take a look at the rocket launch in Fireball XL5 now. Rocket launch sequence we've just seen, wasn't it actually being considered as a possible means of space launch in the 50s?
Not in the 50s. Right now, there's a new rocket under development called HOTL, which in fact is projected for the next century, and it'll be able to fly from London to Australia in about 3/4 of an hour. So that prediction was pretty good.
So was that your own prediction, or did you find that out through sort of your interest in science?
I think I was just interested in flight and rocketry and certainly space travel, and it seemed to me like a good idea at the time. But of course I didn't have to make it fly. You know, the guys who are designing it now really have one hell of a problem on their hands.
Now that was quite reminiscent of sort of Flash Gordon and a lot of early 50s sci-fi movies. Did you get any inspiration from that era?
Not guilty. I've rarely taken interest in any other projects other than my own, not because of any sort of conceit. I've just always been a very, very busy person, and I seem to only have time to make my own shows, get back home and get to bed and refresh myself for the next day. It's all wholly original.
Yeah. Well, Stingray was the first British television colour production, but it was made in 1962, which was 6 years before we actually had colour telly in Britain. Why?
Well, it was made in colour primarily for the American market, which of course had colour before we had it over here. And the crazy thing was that we used to film it in colour, and when we completed each show, we then translated it back into black and white and printed it in black and white for most of the markets around the world, except the United States.
Well, Stingray did prove unforgettable eventually for its colour and for the phrase which became a household catchphrase.
Greenville, I am calling battle station. Anything can happen in the next half hour.
Now, was it an intended likeness that Troy Tempest in Stingray was to look like James Garner?
Not intended. I mean, how do you describe a face to a sculptor? You know, say good-looking, sense of humour, you know, like James Garner, for instance. And then you find that 6 weeks later they come back with a face and you think that's pretty good, and it's not for some months that you realise that they have in fact produced James Garner.
And a lot of people, I'm sure, would like to know about the voice of Captain Scarlet. I mean, we all know it's not actually Gregory Peck, but it's...
Francis Matthews. In fact, it was Cary Grant it was based on.
So it was actually... Oh, what am I saying?
But when I say based on, here again, it was just, you know, try a Cary Grant type voice. We said during rehearsals. Francis Matthews goes away, obviously rehearses, comes back and says, what do you think of this? And so we have a voice which is like Cary Grant.
Well, I know everybody's itching to see a clip of Thunderbirds now, so fasten your safety belts FAB, whatever that means. Well, for all Gerry's fans, we've got this 7-box video collection. It's got Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet, Terrorhawk, Space 1999. They're all there. To win this, can you please answer the following question? Who is the commander of Cloudbase? Now, send your answers to us here at Night Network, PO Box 90, London, SE1 9PR, and please mark your cards Cloudbase. Have them with us by next Wednesday. Now, Gerry, I've just got to quickly ask you a question you've been asked a million times. Does FAB stand for anything?
Today people say brilliant, and it's short, it's Brill. In those days it was fabulous, short, it was FAB, F-A-B.
Right. Well, out of all this entertainment, some serious things have arisen. You've got a fan club with this magazine, SIG, and International Rescue.
Yes, there's a real live International Rescue, which...
And they save people all around the world, don't they?
They fly out to various parts of the world, and they have specialised equipment. They locate people, and it is a real live organisation.
Well, that's great. Gerry Anderson, thank you very much for coming in tonight. Look forward to seeing more in the future. All the best.
Thank you.
Opening a bank account didn't bother me. Some of my mates said people didn't take them seriously. I can't imagine why. But these guys knew I'd be big one day. They were smart. I must have impressed them with the way I looked.
Open an account with Barclays. We can help with anything from car insurance to buying a stereo. Or you could even just use us as a bank.
They begged me to open a bank account. And pretty soon I got the account number, the checkbook, and the plastic. It was easy. Mind you, some people might find it a bit of a problem.
How can you be certain that the oil you give your engine is doing everything you expect of it, protecting every moving part, ensuring maximum performance every time? Here's a way. Make sure the oil is liquid engineering. Castrol GTX, fitted in your engine.
So anyway, look, I've got a whole £1 here. Show us your bum and I'll give you a quid, please.
No, that wasn't in my brief at all.
Please?
I didn't agree that.
No?
No.
Well, I'll leave it there. If you change your mind, that's where it is. Good evening, we're down the bunker again. This week I've got a friend with me who's a brilliant singer. It is, of course, my very close friend. Alison Moyet. Yes, Alison, hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello, all right, you got a drink there? Everything's lovely, the pound's still there, but we're keeping that between ourselves. Tell me, Alison, we're down the bunker. The bomb's dropped. Let's pretend the bomb's dropped. You've heard the 4-minute warning, you're panicking. You're thinking, oh, my God, where shall I go? What shall I do? If you had a phone call, who would you ring? Just the one phone call. Last phone call you could make. Who do you think you would ring?
I think I'd ring the office to find out how many records are doing.
Yeah. A sort of futile phone call, really.
Yeah, it was a bit, at the moment, yeah.
No, you'd ring and find out, are they doing well?
I think they're doing quite well, yeah. I'm quite happy about them, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Of course, you make records, don't you?
Yeah, I'm a pop singer.
Yes, singing popular music.
Popular music.
That's it. That's what I've heard.
I did a gig with you once, do you remember?
No, I don't think they need to know about that. Because they've closed down all those places in the West End now, haven't they? So nobody will be able to go and drag up any dirt.
It was a little fetid, wasn't it?
It was. Fetid and pathetic, I think, on your part. But still, you've brought some of your videos down with you to have a look at, because these are the videos you're prepared to spend the rest of your life with. I couldn't help but notice that a lot of them were video nasties. Are you completely cracked, or...? Well, let's have a look at the first clip, because I know it is one of those video nasties come 1985 when they cracked down that they banned. So we're very privileged to be able to watch one of those videos that you can no longer get.
Which one is this?
You know it. It's that special one with the big thing.
Oh, they've all got those in them, Roland.
Have they? Yeah. It's a good show this is going to be.
So you think we should draw the line at rimming?
Yeah? Oh, all right. Well, you know, ball's in your court, mate. All right, then. Well, that was French and Saunders. You appeared on that programme, didn't you?
Yeah, I've done a few little stints with them, yeah.
Did you get paid?
No, I didn't get paid.
No, snap.
No.
Snap.
The dosh was a bit dried up, yeah.
Well, anyway, talking about rimming, your punk days. Let's go back. Let's go way back. You were with quite a few different bands, weren't you?
Yeah, I started out with a group called the...
I'll count them off as you go. Go on.
There's the Vandals, yeah.
One.
And then there's the Vickers.
Oh, yeah.
And the Screaming Abdabs.
Right, that's a bit of a band there with Screaming Abdabs.
Actually, wasn't a punk band at all at the time, though.
What were they?
We were sort of like really into rootsy blues.
Not... Oh, well, it's become your cup of tea, really, hasn't it? Blues. You've gone from being a punk-esque to a sort of blues-esque sort of person. That's good. That's good. What about the other videos that you've brought down? What pop videos would you like to see here alone, with yourself, just with the television and the video machine? Maybe a male vocalist, would there be one?
Can you give me a few more clues?
I don't want to impersonate him because he is horrendously ugly. I'm talking of Joe Jackson.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, Joe Jackson. Different for girls.
Why? Why?
It's a great song, and it's a good period. That was my halcyon days.
Halcyon days?
Yes.
I'll look that up while we watch this video.
OK.
We'll have a look at this video, because I like Joe a lot. Shame about his face.
In 1815, during the Napoleonic Wars, the Scottish Widows' Fund was founded to aid widows, sisters, and other females. Times have changed. You don't have to be Scottish or a widow to build a better future with pension and investment plans designed for Scottish widows like her. Scottish widows like him. And him. And him. Scottish widows like you.
This is where it all began, where the Twiglets first appeared. Soon the whole village was nobbled by these strange-looking snacks. The military were overrun. World leaders were powerless to resist that whole wheat, savory taste. Now the Twiglets have taken on a new guise. You're not even safe on the streets. Have they got to you yet? Till we meet again in the Twiglet Zone.
I understand you offer discounts on all your summer holidays.
Indubitably. For just a £5 deposit, I can save you loads on roads, quite a bit of brass in me house. I can do you Kos, Lesbos, Zakynthos, Mykonos, Mallorca, Menorca, with Nice, Greece...
At Lund Poly, you can save up to £30 on next year's summer holiday.
Gibraltar, Malta, Corfu, Malibu, Lanzarote.
Pardon?
For just a £5 deposit...
Lund Poly, a £5 deposit and up to £30 off.
Boing, 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 boing. Boing,
Looking
boing,
from
boing,
a window above.
Boing, 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 boing.
It's a story of love.
Boing, 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 boing.
Can you...
Well, you take a look at that.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I was sitting with Matthew, we were watching TV. I said, hey Matthew, what do you see? Do you see the guns? Do you see the bombs? See those people throwing all of those stones? Do you Matthew, when you're watching TV. Hey, hey, Matthew, what do you see? Do you see the tension in a rich man's house? Do you see the cat? Do you see the mouse? Do you see the beauty or the big bad beast? Do you see the famine? Do you see the feast? In this world of villains, do you see the crime? There's a superhero waiting at the edge of time. Hey, Matthew, when you're watching TV, said, hey, hey, Matthew, what do you see?
I see Dallas, Dynasty, Tomahawks, He-Man, Tom and Jerry, Dukes of Hazzard, Aerial, Blue Thunder, Rambo, Roadrunner, Daffy Duck, the A-Team, the A-Team. I see the A-Team.
I was sitting with Matthew, we were watching TV. I said, hey Matthew, what'll you be? Will you walk like a lion in the danger zone? Will you pass unnoticed in the great unknown? When you see the press out on a witch hunt, when you see a political publicity stunt, will you fight for the right? Will you be a man? Will you step aside? Will you give a damn? Will you ride that tide with the starry-eyed? Will you give and take? Will you laugh till you wake? Will you learn to live? Will you take? Will you give? As the bridges burn, will you live and learn? Will you be numbered with the brave and true? Well, good luck, kid, here's looking at you. In the future, Matthew, so bright and free. Hey, Matthew, what'll you be? Hey, hey, Matthew, what'll you be?
I want to be a soldier, street fighter, be a policeman, a captain of a boat, big boat. I want to be a magic man, a cowboy, a train driver, a high jump champion, a fireman, a pilot. I want to be a friend. It's all a game. I hope.
Hey, Matthew. Hey, hey, Matthew.
I hope. I hope. I hope. I hope.
I said, not if you've got a mini. You see, I got him straight. I cut him to his quip.
That was a cracker, yeah.
Yes. Hello, we're back down the bunker. I've got my mate here, Alison Moyer.
Moyer.
Sorry?
Moyer.
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 Moyer. Moyer. Alison Moyer, nil point. Bonjour, Alison. As I say, there's a bit of French in you, isn't there? Or has there been a bit of French in you? No, that's Lenny Henry. Let's steer clear of that. There's a bit of French there somewhere, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
Where from?
You want me to go on about it?
Well, no, don't go on. Just tell us, for Christ's sake. I mean, we've got a lot to get through.
You're quite finished.
Oh, yes.
My father's French. My father's French from Cognac, actually. You've probably been there.
I have the Drambuie, not the Cognac.
All right.
Oh, I'd like to consider myself French at times. So anyway, Alison, how would you pass the time? What sort of things would you find yourself doing if you found yourself alone in a bunker for 20 years?
I think model building would be sort of prime concern.
Building models? What, with charred remains or matchsticks or what?
I think matchstick, something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe
You would go
boxes.
out, you would brave the atmosphere just to try and find burnt matches.
No, I think that I would have actually taken them down with me.
Of course, you think ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, here comes a bomb. I must get my matches. I have an idea I'm going to be down there 20 years. No, that's good. That's fine. What about pool? I understand you like playing... like myself, I like a game of pool.
I do like pool, but I
Would you
mean, I think the thing you have to remember is how big is the bunker going to be? I think this is something that's really...
Oh, easily big enough for a pool table.
Do you think so?
What about your favourite poster? What poster would you take down? Do you reckon that you would like to look at for 20 years? Would there be one?
I think it'd be one... You know, you should make your own, paint your own.
Paint your own. OK, OK. That's good, that's good.
You could pretend that you're playing in the corner, like you're doing a concert in the corner of the bunker and just, like, do all the fly posters, couldn't you?
Oh, right. Right, because I understand you do a lot of fly posting.
No, I don't really know.
You don't? No, completely different person.
Yeah.
That's good, that's good. That's research for you, really, isn't it? Moving along, because we like to now and again. One of the clips I couldn't help but notice you had in your bag was of a bottle of vodka. No, it was of the comic strip.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You like the comic strip?
Yeah, very much. And
look, it's vodka and orange juice. What a giveaway. And you're on tour shortly. It's the comic strip.
It's the comic strip. I think
you like the comic strip?
Yeah, I think just play it without talking about it. What do you think?
5 go. That's enough. Orange juice?
Yeah, please, top it up. Just up to the top.
Just a little.
Thank you.
Oh, bit of spillage, but we're alone. So anyway...
As we so frequently are.
Yes, oh, thank you very much. I'll have one myself. So there was Dawn in that one. Dawn French.
Dawn.
A close lesbian relationship, I think. I'll come straight out and say. Do you want to quash the rumours, or do you want to just sort of... string it up so we all can see?
We've had an ongoing relationship, Dawn and I.
Have you?
Well, she always sends me, like, files of love juice and stuff like that. She's a bit obsessive.
Oh, lovely.
But I think she's only been like that since I started sleeping with her husband.
Lenny?
Len, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Oh, you know him as Len?
Yeah.
Oh, it is special. That's good, that's good. What about, well, moving from lesbian comedians to lesbian pop people, who do you think, give us the inside dirt, who in the pop business is a lesbian?
Other than you.
Other than myself, of course.
I actually don't know any lesbians in the pop business, no.
What about the pop business generally? How do you find it these days? You went into recluse for about a year, didn't you?
Yeah.
You just completely pissed off with it all. Why was that?
Well, I think there was sort of like a trend going that particular year that was called, like, Let's Sue Alison Moyer, you know. So, like, everyone was issuing me with writs, which stopped me from working, and so I sort of, like, just stayed home for about a year. And,
Didn't answer any mail?
I didn't get an email, can I tell you? Can I tell you?
Oh, dear.
A few bills, you know. Yeah,
sad.
Terrible.
So, you was out of action for about a year? But what about women in pop generally? Do you think they're getting a good deal, a bum deal? Are they privileged? Have they got an easy doobry?
I think it's sort of like well, for a start, I don't really think of people as sort of like male or female, you know what I mean, in the business. I think that it's tough for anyone to break it, and, well, you know, it goes as it goes, you know.
You don't mind?
I don't give a
No? OK, that special word, give, which we hear so often on Sundays. Still, well, let's move on, because there is one person in your life, and I see the name as something that's very handy for insulation. You see it as an inspiration. I'm talking, of course, about polystyrene.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
You must have thought about that one for a long time.
Yes, that's taken me about a week.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Polystyrene, she holds something special for you, does she? Is it your passport or something?
You're going back to my lesbian relationships.
Oh, no, let's steer clear of women, then.
OK.
The best thing. Let's move on to another clip, because I know you like a band that's currently in the charts, and you've brought their video down. You're prepared to spend 20 years watching them. It's in black and bloody white. What is it again? What's their name?
Black. I think this is a great new act, and I give them 10. 10 points.
And we are now on New Faces.
Yeah.
In July, Parliament passed the Channel Tunnel Act, and Britain and France ratified the Channel Tunnel Treaty. This gave the go-ahead to Eurotunnel, the private sector group formed to build and operate the tunnel. Work has recently started on this completely new project. The tunnel is planned to open in 1993. The entire venture is being funded privately. Next month, as part of that funding, the public will be able to apply for shares in Eurotunnel.
How will the system work?
Who's going to build it?
Who'll use it?
Don't stay in the dark. Phone 0272 277 007. We'll reserve you a prospectus and send you an information pack. Eurotunnel. Could be worth looking into.
Technology with tradition. At your gas showroom, we've brought the two together beautifully. The superb Flavel Emberglow draws together a cozy living flame, classic cast iron styling, and a £40 trade-in. The Valor Home Flame Super brings rooms to life with instant controllable warmth, heating effectively, economically, with a £40 trade-in too. There's only one place to warm to these and many other fires, your British Gas showroom, of course.
If you suffer from indigestion, you can feel locked away in your own personal discomfort. 2 Rennie tablets can release you from that misery. They start working almost straight away. So in no time, you begin to feel free again. Rennie, your key to fast relief.
If you're worried about AIDS, phone the National AIDS Helpline on 0800 567 123.
Let's hear it for the boys at Quick-Fit. Those good old boys in blue.
They really do look after me. They'll do the same for you.
If your exhaust needs mending, then pop along today.
They'll soon sort out your worn tyres too and have you on your way.
So next time you're in trouble and your old car lets you down,
remember the words of this little song. You'll hear it all round town. You can't get better than a Quick-Fit fitter.
you can't get better than a Quick-Fit fitter.
You can't get better than a Quick-Fit fitter.
We're the boys that trust.
Before you check out a motor, check out Exchange and Mark. With so many cars, prices and information, you can really wise up. Exchange and Mark. It gives you more clout.
In the last 12 months, Peugeot has built the 2 millionth 205. It's also won the World Rally Championship for the 2nd year in succession. And with the launch of the 309, Peugeot for the first time has built a car in Britain. And if that weren't enough, the latest 309, the GTI, has set new standards in Peugeot performance. But this is just the beginning, because now Peugeot is about to build a new and bigger car, the 405. And like the 309, it's going to be built right here in Britain. Peugeot, the lion goes from strength to strength.
Captain Scarlet.
This is Nellie, who's 5 years old. This is a Hitachi FST television with computer-controlled teletext, which is guaranteed to be in equally good shape when it's 5 years old, still with a picture so incredibly lifelike. you'd be off your Nelly to look at any other telly. Hitachi televisions with a free 5-year guarantee.
It could be quite an event. From October the 20th till 10 a.m. on October the 28th, you can apply for the government's remaining shares in BP, Britain's biggest company. The minimum investment will be about £250. And you can pay in 3 instalments. For more information and to reserve your prospectus, phone 0272 272 272 or look in the newspapers. It's Britain's biggest share offer. BP. Be part of it.
Well then, how are you? Welcome to Chart Attack. This week it's the US charts we're looking at the top 20. And hopefully a bit later on, I know he's on his way from America at the moment, we have the Axeman, who will be coming from... He does live after all. Go on, get off, it's my turn now. If he can make it from WTNN, he'll be joining us a bit later on to have a look at the top 10. But joining us now, great pleasure to welcome a young lady who's just had a top 5 smash in America, and she's only 17, Debbie Gibson. Welcome along.
Thank you.
What's it like then to be just 17 and having a monster hit in America?
Well, of course, it's very exciting and it keeps me very busy.
Mm-hmm. What do your mates think about it?
They're all excited, yeah. And I've gotten them into reading the charts now, you know.
Right. OK, then, right, let's kick off. We've got a top 40 bubbler, first of all, this week. Remember Broken Wings by Mr. Mister? This is their new single. Something Real, new single from Mr. Mister. That's bubbling in the American chart this week. And they're coming over to the UK. They'll be in Manchester on the 27th of November. And they'll be at the Hammersmith Odeon on November the 28th. What's going on here? Who's that? Milady. I can't believe this. What's going on? Right, Debbie, what's your fave records in the American chart at the moment? What are you buying back home?
Oh, let's think. Well, of course, Michael Jackson is selling like crazy there.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiffany's record's doing real well.
Yeah, we'll get to that a bit later on.
Uh-huh. And let's see. I know Lisa, Lost in Emotion. That kind of 50s, 60s sound is
It is bringing back the kind of Motown sound, isn't it? How did you... how long have you been singing?
Oh, forever.
Yeah?
I think I was singing before I was speaking.
Right. And how did you whose idea was it to start making and writing records? Yours?
Yeah. I used to play piano by ear. You know, I used to run into one room and listen to the radio and run into the other and play it on the piano.
Gotcha.
So.
All right, then. Well, let's get into the chart. At 20, we've got Cutting Crew. 19, it's John Cougar, Mellencamp. 18, Kenny G. And at 17 this week, it's REO Speedwagon, who are hoping to emulate that big 1981 smash, Keep On Loving You. Here is the new 45, In My Dreams. You Are the Girl. That's the Cars at 14. 13, we've got another British breakout, Swing Out Sister, and Breakout. 12, Billy Idol, Moni Moni. That's the live version. And at number 11 this week, former US #1 from Whitesnake, Here I Go Again. And it's a case of Here I Go Again, and here you go, Debbie, because you've got to shoot off now, haven't you?
Yes.
It is very late, I must admit. But thank you very much for being in.
Thank you.
And good luck with the LP, which is called?
Out of the Blue.
And that'll be out in October, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What's the date again, the 19th?
Yes.
Thank you very much. OK, well, the Axeman has arrived. He's live and direct from the US of A. We'll be getting to him, along with the top 10 of the American chart, right here on Night Network, within the next 2 minutes, so keep it here.
Over the past few years, British steels had to get into shape to compete in one of the world's toughest markets. It hasn't always been easy, but the results have been dramatic. We made ourselves leaner and tougher and more flexible. Output is up. UK sales are up. Exports are up. Profits are up. Our prospects are a good deal more attractive. British Steel, in shape for things to come.
That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning.
Hiya, welcome back. You're with Night Network, and this is Chart Attack, and it's the American Top 20. And as Debbie Gibson goes off into the night, we welcome live to the UK a guy who's been entertaining us over the last few weeks, late on Night Network, the Axeman.
Hey, how you doing, man?
All right, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to actually see you as well. you normally have normally very dark over there.
Yeah, well, you know, you don't need much light for radio. You know how it is.
What are you doing over here?
Well, seeing a couple of bands, you know, just basically holiday, you know, checking out a couple of radio stations. Capital Radio, something up in, like, Newcastle. There's one up there as well.
Metro.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
And what, are you going to pick up tips or give them tips?
A bit of both, I suppose. Depends what kind of questions they ask.
All right. And what bands are you hoping to see way over here?
Well, I saw a band over at the Mean Fiddler, and I'm going to check out Tom Petty and Bob Dylan on Wednesday.
Brilliant.
And a band called Then Jericho.
Then Jericho. Well, Mark Shaw will be my special guest on Video View tomorrow night, so stay tuned for that. At number 10, in the top 10 we go, and this lady makes Debbie Gibson look ancient. She's only 15, her name is Tiffany, and her single is called I Think We're Alone Now. Well, they're making hits very young these days. That's Tiffany. She's only 14, and apparently on her album in America, she's done a cover version of the Beatles' I Want to Hold Your Hand, which is literally storming up the American charts. That's number 10 this week, Tiffany in the USA. At 9, Expose, Let Me Be the One. That's still climbing. Number 8, Fleetwood Mac, Little Lies. We've played that a few times here on Night Network. And sticking at 7 this week, Heart, Who Will You Run To? Who are your favourite bands in America?
Some of my favourite bands are sort of the older bands, like the Grateful Dead, and I'm quite a Steely Dan fan.
But that Grateful Dead single, the current one, is steaming up the network chart.
Yeah, it's doing very well in the States as well. Yeah, the video took off quite well, as I heard. Yeah, with all the skeletons hanging around. Yeah,
brilliant.
Good stuff.
All right, then, at number 6 this week, a record I'm sure you're familiar with, too, is Levert and the Dance Floor Killer, Casanova. Big favourite with the Axeman there. Good job you couldn't hear him singing. Dear, oh dear. I don't know why he's a DJ. Number 6 this week, Levert and Casanova. At 5, last week's number 1, it's Europe and Carrie. At 4, still causing a commotion, it's Lady Madonna. At 3, Prince and You Got the Look. At 2, Wacko Jacko and Bad, which means we've a brand new number 1. And at the top of the pile this week, reviving the classic sounds of Tamla Motown, here's Lisa Lisa and Cult Jam. New number 1 this week in America, that's Lisa Lisa and Cult Jam and Lost in Emotion.
Good tune, yeah.
Good stuff. Who's going to be doing your show then, back in America?
Oh, a guy named Jeff Cantor from Axborough, just a friend of mine, yeah. Not much of a DJ, but he's all right, you know.
And he'll be on later tonight, yeah? All right, thanks a lot for coming in.
Pleasure. Do you got any more of those buttons like that you got on your collar?
For this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a badge, Night Network badge.
Okay, I got one, you think?
There you go.
Nice one.
Have one of those.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for being on tonight. Still to come tonight, we've got Gary Glitter talking to Richard O'Brien. Looking forward to that. And music from his mate back in America, Jeff Cantor. See you tomorrow night. We've got Video View with Mark Shaw from Then Jericho and Pepsi and Shirley. So, see you then. Ta-da.
Glenn Tilbrook from Squeeze here, advising you not to catch a cold, but instead to catch me on Night Network.
it isn't. I'm gonna have a hell of a job skinning the bastard.
Hey, Mr. DJ!
Holy shit, it's Viper! Viper's up here, great! Oh, shit.
Great. He's probably saying, holy shit, it's Maverick and Goose.
I've got the moves, baby. You got the motion. If we got together, ain't because of the commotion.
Now, we're very privileged to have with us this evening Brains from Thunderbirds. He's been delivered to us by the Mole from Thunderbird 2, and he's here this evening to demonstrate his incredible scientific knowledge. Now, Brains, have you got everything you need for this?
Oh, well, Paul, everything seems to be in its rightful place. But do you think you could pass me the gyro reverse scope monitor?
The gyro reverse scope monitor?
Oh, wow, thanks. That's it.
Fine.
Now, according to my blueprint, this should fit into slot B. Well, and there you have it. But remember, it's kind of dangerous to play with plastic explosives. Here, Paul. Here's one I prepared earlier.
Well, thanks, Gavin and Andy. More Mime Theatre Project later on the show. But coming up after the break, we've got more Bunker Show and the London Fashion Week.
Change the world for the good thing he's found. If she is bad, he can see it. She can do no wrong. Turning back on his best friend if he put her down.
Let's hear it for the boys at QuickFit. Those good old boys in blue.
They really do look after me. They'll do the same for you.
If your exhaust needs mending, then pop along today.
They'll soon sort out your worn tyres too and have you on your way.
So next time you're in trouble and your old car lets you down,
Remember the words of this little song, you'll hear it all round town. You can't get better than a QuickFit fitter.
You can't get better than a quick fit fitter. You can't get better than a quick fit fitter.
We're the boys that trust.
Before you check out a motor, Check out exchange and mark. With so many cars, prices and information, you can really wise up. Exchange and mark. It gives you more clout.
If DIY is a bit of a drag, get your hands on the portable Workmate 2 system. It's the best Workmate ever, solid as a rock. It clamps the wide and the narrow with ease. There's even an optional saw table for more work surface. The Workmate 2 system from Black & Decker. Tough tools for tough jobs.
I am Daley Thompson.
Is it very important?
I am Daley Thompson. I am Daley Thompson.
Is it really important to you?
It is to
Is it
me.
really important to you to be Daley Thompson?
Anyway, we're down the bunker again. I've got my friend Alison Moyer. She's still here.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of people have lost money because she is still here. Alison, how do you cope with being recognised when you're in the street? It must become a pain.
Well, you should know. I mean, seriously, I mean, like, since you've been on this primetime programme yourself.
Yes, I've been recognised once by my mother.
Have you?
Yes. And that was only under police escort, which is a shame.
It's, I don't particularly enjoy it much, no, so it's not
A lot of people say if I can move on quickly, because I don't really care what you're saying about now. A lot of people say that you're happiest when you're miserable. And that's why you came on this show.
This is exactly why I came on the show, yeah.
Just to get yourself miserable, you feel a couple of songs coming on.
I do.
And you can only write when you're miserable.
I just think it's like when you're feeling a bit down, that's the time that you might shut yourself away and do something.
I tell you, Al, if ever you need some inspiration, I will come round and just thump you in the face. And then I think you're going to be writing volumes, because you're going to feel a bit miserable then.
Actually, it makes me very happy.
Yeah. What about the pop industry? I didn't really
Are you
say
really that. interested in anything I say to you, or are you just going to go...
Oh, yes, yes. I'm hanging on your every word.
Are you?
Yes, I am that man.
What about the pop industry?
What about the pop industry? Do you like it or not? A lot of people don't. A lot of people pretend they do.
I like it very much. I think I'd rather not be in the job that I was in, you know. I'd rather work inside it than be an artist for it, you know.
Because you feel you've been taken for granted at times.
No, I just think it's more fun. I like playing games, you know, like board games, and working in the record industry is just like a board game.
Oh, right. That brings us on neatly to Return of the Living Dead, which I know is a favourite of yours, which you've brought down into the bunker. You're prepared to watch that for the next 20 years, aren't you?
No.
No.
But then I think the situation's not necessarily, you know... I mean, I actually wouldn't think to bring any films down, but you asked me to name someone, so... I actually got the name of this one wrong, and that's why it's...
Yes. What did you ask for? Lace or something?
No,
like
I did ask for this one, but I got the name wrong. I like the one where they're in the supermarket. The zombies in the supermarket, you know?
That's with Bruce Forsyth. That's a sitcom that's out at the moment.
When he was with Anthea?
Yes. Yes. Let's have a look at that one, then. It's Bruce Forsyth and Anthea in Return of the Living Dead.
Corpses. What are you talking about? They're down in the basement. No. Come on. No way.
Hey, mind the third step, it's a bitch.
And they just brought those bodies here and left them?
Well, you know the Army.
And they've been here all this time?
14 years, as I recall.
No kidding.
There they are.
There's bodies in there? Oh, shit! Look at that! You say that thing was alive?
So they say.
Oh, God. Hey, these things don't leak, do they?
Leak? Hell no. These things were made by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
Oh, fuck!
But I tell you what, this is the best scotch you can buy.
I bet that's tea. I bet that is tea. But that's tea and water in there.
Well, if it is, I'll be home buying lots of bloody packets of tea bags. I don't know how I tell you. Oh, that's got me the other side of normal. And that's where we all want to be, isn't it? So you're fairly practical. When you left school, I believe you wanted to be a Sparks, maybe a plumber, maybe a hairdresser. You went through the...
Well, I like the idea of having a trade, you know. You know, I wasn't sort of like overqualified when I left school.
But could you sing when you was at school?
Well, I sort of sang.
How was assembly for you?
I loved assembly, I loved it.
And they knew it? Oh, Alison's in. She's turned up.
No?
No? Oh, so it came late, the singing. Oh, that's good.
I was actually sort of like not allowed to be in any of the school plays because they said I couldn't sing. That was there. Well, you know.
Right, let's go round and see them now.
Yeah, right.
Where's Jeremy Beadle when you need him? That's what I say. All right, then, well, on the film front, I mean, you're taking some videos down. Presumably you'd have a few films, hopefully a few porno ones, because I've heard about your past.
I'd take a camera. I'd take a camera down.
Would you?
Yeah.
All right. What about films? What sort of films would you like to see? What?
Horror films, occult horror films.
Yeah. What about things like Betty Blue?
Betty Blue. This is a little French number with subtitles.
Because you are half French.
Because I am half French.
Yes. Well, your dad's bit was French.
Yes,
and your mum's bit was English.
But it became French.
And then it all sort of overlapped, didn't it? So
it
there
did.
you are.
I just thought it was a good idea because it might make me look really cultural.
Oh right. We'll have this bit. We don't know what the.
I've seen it. I saw it last
here.
week on the telly. Actually, I did. I got the video out last week.
Ah. So we know vaguely what's happening.
Well, I do know what it's about. You know, a bird. Elizabeth a geezer.
Right, a bit of an ornithological film here.
She pokes her eye out and she dies.
Well, it's another bloody video nasty then, isn't it?
It's close to it, yeah.
We'll have a look at it.
All right.
T'es prêt? Regarde. Attention. Maintenant. Souris. Plus haut le rouleau. Alors mais elle est vachement bien.
Bah non, je fais une sale gueule, regarde.
Mais pourquoi tu fais la gueule?
Je fais pas la gueule, je souris sur les
Marc,
deux.
on a marre de la peinture. Elle est mieux l'autre. Hein.
Ouais.
On en fait une dernière, juste une
Ah
dernière.
non, non, arrête, on a déjà fait 50, Betty. Allez, viens, je te paye une petite mousse.
Eh bien,
Qu'est-ce qu'il veut encore ce gros porc?
j'ai l'impression que ça usine ici, hein. Oh, oh.
Bah ouais, qu'est-ce que vous croyez?
Vous êtes formidable. Allez, là, on va voir si vous tenez le rythme, quoi.
Il vient de dire un truc que j'ai pas compris là.
Hein? Qu'est-ce qu'il a dit? Il a rien dit?
Ça veut dire quoi tenir le rythme?
Eh bien, n'ayez pas d'inquiétude, chère petite mademoiselle. Je ne demande pas de faire tout ça comme ça, sans souffler. Je suis pas un monstre. Et vous pouvez vous continuer à vous éventer comme ça vous va très bien, je trouve.
Et c'est quoi finir tout ça?
Bah, les autres bungalows, bien sûr.
Il déconne là.
Mais est-ce que j'en ai l'air?
Bah tu vois, je me tape, mais je vais te dire ça dans 5 secondes.
Non, Betty, non, non, mais Betty, arrête, Betty! Non, mais vous êtes folle!
Tu vois là, ta caisse, ça me fait pas encore trop chier. Alors surtout, t'écoutes pas tes copains, s'ils disent qu'ils aiment pas, ça fait plus peur. Tu vois, les baraques là, j'ai vraiment pas le moral.
Non, mais, oh! Elle est folle! Non, c'est pas un petit coup de... Non, mais c'est comme neuf, hein? Voilà! Il faut l'excuser à ses règles! Et puis il y a ce putain de vent, ça rend fou! Et je suis sûr qu'elle le regrette! Voilà! Allez! Oh! Oh, en plus, je vous repeins les poubelles et puis les pylônes! Les pylônes, je m'en fous, c'est l'EDF! Connard!
Yeah, and it's a nationwide tour, is it?
Yeah, I'm going to finish off like Europe and England. I've already done the rest of the world, just got back from that.
A lot of voice stress, I think, on your tour?
Well, it's just like I've been touring for like 7 months this year, you know, and it's just had enough. So I had to pull like 2 gigs, but nothing serious.
Which is why I want you, this evening, if you would, to accompany me on that classic, I don't know who wrote it, it's called Only You.
I'm going to get paid for this?
Yes. Oh, yes. If you would go boing, 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 boing.
Well, I will do that, but it doesn't actually go like that.
Shut up, it does now. So, Alison, 2, 3, 4.
Boing, 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 boing. Boing, 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 boing. Boing,
Looking
boing,
from
boing,
a window above.
Boing, 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 boing.
It's a story of love.
Boing, 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 boing.
Can you hear
Boing, boing, boing.
it coming yesterday? Motion
Can I change the
away.
snare drum?
Yes.
Boing, boing,
Can't
boing,
you
boing.
see it?
Boom, boom, boom.
Alison. All I wanted was a bit of a sandwich. All I wanted was a bus ride home. Only you boing, 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 quickly.
Boing, 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 boing. Boing, 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 boing. Boing, 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 boing.
Came out down the yesterday. B-side, all right, you sing the B-side.
Do I just for a situation?
Oh, we do. And again?
Move out. Move out. Move out.
Is the end. He said there will never be another generation. And today, fear, problems, bewilderment, all on every side, and almost, we could say, a sense of hysteria. They were living in idolatry, wickedness, lawlessness, immorality, sin, licentiousness. I'm convinced that our time is desperately short. I'm convinced that our time is desperately short.
Well, you'll already have seen quite a few Gerry Anderson characters throughout tonight's show. These have been brought to you by Gavin and Andy from the Mime Theatre Project. Now, we had Gerry Anderson in on the show earlier on today, or this evening. How does he see your interpretation of his work?
Well, he's seen the show 3 times and he loves it. We've got to know Gerry quite well, actually, through doing the show. And in fact, we have done some work with him as a result of that, but we're not allowed to talk about that at the moment, apparently.
Top secret.
Absolutely. Under wraps.
Under wraps. Is this anything to do with World Organisation?
Probably. Hopefully.
But what's the actual performance about?
Well, the show's like a typical episode of Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet kind of moulded together. It's like the world president precariously balanced on the edge of oblivion, and will Thunderbirds rescue him in time, or do they? You know, one of those cliffhangers.
And how are you selective about what material from the Gerry Anderson file that you'd use?
Well, I mean, I preferred Captain Scarlet, and we both liked Thunderbirds, so as Thunderbirds being the most well-known one, we sort of picked on that as the most obvious choice to appeal to everybody's public consciousness, if you like. And then Captain Scarlet was the hero that came in to see Lady Penelope at some point during the show.
Yeah. How did you work about in sort of improving the characterisation of them into sort of mime?
Well, we spent a lot of time looking at videos and watching original episodes to get the kind of flavour. We use the original music that accompanied many episodes, and we recreate. I mean, like I do the walk, for example. You know, so you actually get the puppet moving, and the eyes.
Do the lean. No strings, no strings.
Well, apparently, when they did that in the original series, the reason why you have that little lean there is because they had to hold the legs of the puppet still to get the tension.
That's
so
right.
somebody actually doing that.
Yeah, so they're going, and then they're held.
So that's on the original, so that's what we mirror.
And also the eyes, you know, the eyes always... They never stopped halfway, they always went all the way.
And the heads are never still, you know, they're always sort of, no matter what they're doing, they're always kind of moving around like that, you know.
And they always get left behind, you know, when the body turns and the head is left here, and then the head goes...
It catches it up later on, you know. But, I mean, we have all the voice, all the things you would expect to see
Give some voices, let's listen.
Well, Lady Penelope's on it, you know, sort of...
International rescue, Lady Penelope speaking.
And she talks to Parker, you know, so of course you have, you know...
Parker?
Yes, bidady. You know, I mean, it's practically all he says, you know, poor guy, never gets any starring role apart from yes, bidady. But, and Jeff Tracy, you know, the dad, you know...
My boy, it's Jeff here. We got a hot one for you.
OK, Dad. I mean, they're all there, but, yeah, you know, you have to find out what happens in the show.
That's right.
But Thunderbirds isn't all you do. I mean, what other sort of things do you get up to?
Well, as Mime Theatre Project, I mean, we tour another show called The Six-Sided Man, which is inspired by Luke Reinhardt's cult novel The Dice Man. And that's really a play that we've written that uses mime, as opposed to Thunderbirds that uses a lot of mime to tell the story. And we work and do all kinds of workshops, residencies in mime and acting.
We tour around the country quite a lot. I mean, we spend most of our time on tour going to art centres and theatres, performing either this one or The Six-Sided Man.
And so we're actually going to be able to see Gavin and Andy do their full performance in London quite soon. The Thunderbirds FAB.
Thunderbirds one, that's right, yeah. That's at the Bloomsbury in Euston, which is on the 27th to the 31st of this month. Plug. But it is one of the last opportunities that I think you'll have to see it.
Right. Well, listen, Gavin and Andy, thanks very much for coming in tonight. It's been great. Now, stick around with us on Night Network. Coming up shortly after the break, eat your heart out, Johnny Carson, because Big Bad Gary Glitter turns chat show host.
Let's hear it for the boys at QuickFit. Those good old boys in blue.
They really do look after me. They'll do the same for you.
If your exhaust needs mending, then pop along today.
They'll soon sort out your worn tyres too and have you on your way.
So next time you're in trouble and your old car lets you down...
Remember the words of this little song, you'll hear it all round town. You can't get better than a QuickFit fitter.
You can't get better than a quick fit fitter.
You can't get better than a quick fit fitter.
We're the boys that trust.
In July, Parliament passed the Channel Tunnel Act, and Britain and France ratified the Channel Tunnel Treaty. This gave the go-ahead to Eurotunnel, the private sector group formed to build and operate the tunnel. Work has recently started on this completely new project. The tunnel is planned to open in 1993. The entire venture is being funded privately. Next month, as part of that funding, the public will be able to apply for shares in Eurotunnel. How will the system work?
Who's going to build it?
Who'll use it? Don't stay in the dark. Phone 0272 277 007. We'll reserve your prospectus and send you an information pack. Eurotunnel. Could be worth looking into.
When you go to sleep, don't fall prey to the nighttime terrors like ghouls and spectres. And spots. Spots just love the night, but they hate Clearasil because it removes the oil and dirt ordinary washing leaves behind. Clearasil lotion cleanses pore deep with an antibacterial action. And so does Clearasil milk for combination skin. Use their cleansing power mornings and at night, and you will help prevent spots going bump in the night.
Hey, hold everything. I've got something really big for you. In fact, it's a monster. Yeah, it's the man who created the monster Rocky Horror Show. Allow me to introduce to you Mr. Richard O'Brien.
Hey, Gary.
Very pleased to see you. Richard, what's always amazed me is how a man at the age of 10, or a boy at the age of 10, can go from Cheltenham and go and live in Hamilton in New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
Work on a sheep farm. His parents wanted you to be a dairy farmer, so should write something about transvestites and Gauls and Rocky Horror. I mean, how did you get that together? How did that come about?
Well, in New Zealand, they have bodgies and widgies, or they did in the 50s.
Bodgies and widgies are what?
Teddy boys and teddy girls, you see.
Yeah,
And being a child of the 50s, I was very much a little bodgy. Like you used to call a little bodgy bugger.
Right.
And consequently, I used to go to the late night movies every night. Every Friday night there'd be the double feature.
Yeah. What did you watch there?
Oh, I was a teenage werewolf, that sort of stuff, you know. Any black and white sort of horror stuff.
Right.
Not necessarily because I liked it, but I got to like it.
Where did the musical aspect come about? Because of course you wrote the Rocky Horror Show.
Well, I loved rock and roll, always have done and always will do, and always wrote songs and played rock and roll. I still do.
And you've got this amazing collection of sheet music, I believe.
Well, I think most of it's gone now. You know, I've moved a lot, and I keep losing things in the move.
And what about this hobby of you painting rude angels? What's that about?
Well, that's because I really like people artists that draw their obsessions, you see. They're my favourite artists. I'm not much into landscape, although I appreciate it very much. But I like the darker aspects of the psyche, you see.
Because there's quite a bit of Gothic about you all the way through. This runs completely through.
Yes, I love Gothic literature. I love Gothic furniture. In fact, I should have bought all the Gothic revival furniture going 3 years ago because I knew it was going to
I think most of it's
turn
gone
around.
to Boy George, I think.
Well, it's...
Now, what do you think about... In the 70s now, in 73, the Rocky Horror came about. At that time, I know that I was, I suppose, with Bowie, Bolan, and myself were putting theatre into rock and roll. You were putting rock and roll into theatre.
Yes.
Did that seem like it? I mean, on reflection now?
No, it was a conscious decision to actually try and get rock and roll into theatre. I knew what was happening in the rock and roll world, although I wasn't connected to it. I was sort of a creature of the theatre.
Yeah.
And it excited me so much that I knew that there was a way to get rock and roll into theatre, but from the other direction.
And the other amazing thing was that I actually played, I think you know this, and I played Frankenfurter
in New
Zealand.
In Hamilton.
And I was living in Paris at the time, and I had to go and find out what... you know, I wanted to lip sync my script that I'd got because the opening line said, "Unlock a mind, on mind a lock, it's the same as the beginning of the end, do you follow?" Which threw me into absolute panic. And I thought, I'll go along to the local cinema and see what's going on. And to my amazement, after a Fellini film, about 12 o'clock at night, there was all the Rocky Horror kids. And they were all dressed up in the characters that they were going to portray. And in the cinema, I'm sitting there and I'm watching the script, and all these French kids are aiming at the cinema, identifying with the whole thing. Now, what about this audience participation? It's quite amazing.
Well, I'm pleased to hear it's happening in France, because the French don't have a very... I don't hold the French very high in my esteem. I guess I'm a racist in that sense.
Well,
because they can't say rock and roll for a start, can they? They're going to say, okay,
yeah, that's right.
Which doesn't... you know, and all their heroes are, I was going to say taxi drivers, racing car drivers.
But
people of that
they
nature.
certainly, that night, they were rocking along to that in a big way. Now, what is happening to Rocky Horror now? Because you know, we had it on in London, in Baker Street. It was on every night for nearly 12 years, or no, 8 years at the cinema. I mean, what is happening now with it?
Well, it's still going the rounds. It's still a big cult in America. I guess about 200 cinemas right across the United States every weekend are showing this movie. There's the tour of it out in Australia.
Let me interject, Richard. I just want to say that we have, look, the Rocky Horror book here, which is quite amazing. And I would willingly give away 10 of these if you'd like to write in. Now, first of all, the question is a competition. The question is, name the doctor in the Rocky Horror Show. OK? Name the doctor in the Rocky Horror Show, and you write to the leader, Night Network Competition, P.O. Box 90, London, SE19PR, right? And you must arrive, your cards must arrive by Wednesday, OK? Mark it the leader, all right? Richard, thank you very, very much for joining us. I'm sorry it was short. Thanks for being on my first interview ever.
Who do you suppose watching it this time of night?
Millions and millions of Rocky Horror fans and glitter fans, I hope. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
after the break is Jeff Cantor guesting for the Axeman on WTNN. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Technology with tradition. At your gas showroom, we've brought the two together beautifully. The superb Flavel Emberglow draws together a cosy living flame, classic cast iron styling, and a £40 trade-in. The Valor Home Flame Super brings rooms to life with instant controllable warmth, heating effectively, economically, with a £40 trade-in too. There's only one place to warm to these and many other fires, your British Gas showroom, of course.
In the last 12 months, Peugeot has built the 2 millionth 205. It's also won the World Rally Championship for the second year in succession. And with the launch of the 309, Peugeot for the first time has built a car in Britain. And if that weren't enough, the latest 309, the GTI, has set new standards in Peugeot performance. But this is just the beginning, because now Peugeot is about to build a new and bigger car, the 405. And like the 309, it's going to be built right here in Britain. Peugeot, the lion goes from strength to strength.
Everyone, you are tuned into 102.4 on your FM dial, WTNN Radio Axborough, the rock capital of the world. My name's Jeff Cantor. I'll be sitting in for the Axeman for the time being, so if you'll just bear with me, I'm sure we're all going to enjoy ourselves. The first thing I'm going to play for you is a little tune from a gentleman who is from my own state. Off of the Born in the USA album, we got Glory Days with The Boss. The weather in the WTNN area has been clear, crisp, and cool. In Stormfields, our weatherman assures me more of the same, with temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. However, over in London town, things haven't been so good. The Axeman writes, and I quote, "Dear Jeff, the weather in London is miserable. Rain, 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 it sucks. The sky, the buildings, and the people are all the same shade of gray." He also wants to say hello to all and sundry in the Axborough area and reminds me to tell you that he wants the name of the fish by the time he gets back. Well, Axe, the next tune we got up is for you and the weather you're receiving, because even though you're not here, you are with us in spirit. The Alarm with Rain in the Summertime. As the NFL strike continues and the scavenger replacement teams are playing to like empty stands, the attendance at college games has never been better, and Lehigh University is no exception. They already sold out for the game against Cornell this weekend. If you've missed getting tickets, you can still catch the game live on television at Eugene's Bar, that's off Route 91, and the Silo, that is off the Axborough Turnpike. Catch it. College football, you'll love it. It's a way of life. Hold on a second. Hello, this is WTNN Radio Axborough. Gerry Anderson speaking. May I help you? No. I'm sorry. He's in London at the moment. Can I take a message? Oh, yeah. He told me you might be calling. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. Yours is nice too. Look. Could you hold on a sec? Yeah, great. Just one. And now we got a double dose for you, the way the Axe would have it, 2 in a row. Double dose. That was ZZ Top with Legs. Before that was Regina Bell with You Got Love. And this is Jeff Cantor filling in for the Axeman here at WTNN, the rock capital of the world. I don't know whether I'll be back next week or not, but either way, have a good weekend. Good night, Axborough.
You'd be off your Nelly to look at any other telly. Hitachi televisions with a free 5-year guarantee.
Alfonso, my new goalkeeper, finds it rather chilly here after Italy. So I got him a storage heating system from the team you can trust, East Midlands Electricity. Storage heating starts at around £200 and it runs on Economy 7 electricity at less than half price. So, unlike Alfonso, it's very affordable. Gonna be hot stuff on Saturday, Alfie? East Midlands Electricity, the team you can trust.
Order now. Cash sales pay nothing till February. Details from East Midlands shops or free phone 4477.
Glenn Tilbrook from Squeeze here, advising you not to catch a cold, but instead to catch me on Night Network.
Is it dead?
Well, if it isn't, I'm gonna have a hell of a job skinning the bastard.
Hey, Mr. DJ!
Holy shit, it's Viper! Viper's up here, great! Oh, shit. Great. He's probably saying, holy shit, it's Maverick and Goose.
I've got the moves, baby. You got the motion. If we got together, maybe because of the commotion.
Our lips shouldn't touch.
Move over, darling.
I like it too much.
Move over, darling.
That gleam in your eyes is no big surprise anymore. 'Cause you fooled me before. I'm all in a spin.
Move over, darling.
About to give in.
Move over, darling.
And though it's not right, I'm too weak to fight it somehow. 'Cause I want you right now. The way you sigh has me waving my conscience bye-bye. You can call me a fickle thing.